Hey guys, HMK here with the Kingdom Hearts 3 official theme song, Don't Think Twice, a trailer, analysis, and secrets. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed my previous analysis of secrets, which was about Monsters Inc., but now we're going to do for the second trailer from D23 Japan. This trailer is a lot shorter than the other trailer, and it doesn't show many gameplay aspects, so I feel that this analysis is going to go by a lot quicker than the other one, because the other one was almost an hour, and thank you so much for the warm reception to that. If you haven't seen it, it's going to be in the end slate, so let's get into this one. But first and foremost, of course, this trailer has a lot of fluff to it when it comes to the beginning. Like, you know, it says Kingdom Hearts 3 theme song, Don't Think Twice, which is Oath in Japan, and Hikaru Utada, and then we go on into a segment that we all remember from 2015, is where young Xehanort and young Ericus are playing chess. Now, this scene does seem to be a little bit more cleaned up from the 2015 version, but only like a slight bit. It's nothing too glaring in terms of, you know, differences between the two individual trailers, so we're just gonna move past that. However, this segment right here, where we see Sora falling, or I should say diving into Mount Olympus, one thing to take away from this is, one, the command menu once again has been updated, and two, Sora is wearing his Kingdom Hearts 2 attire instead of his Kingdom Hearts 3 attire, where we saw in the orchestra trailer originally last year. So you see him diving here. There's various things that are different, like the one chariot chest that's above this little ramp is missing. The lighting seems to be a bit more cleaned up, and overall it just seems to be like, you know, a more polished product at this point in time. But it's still weird to see that Sora is in his Kingdom Hearts 2 attire, because it makes me think of one of two things. One, you'll be able to switch between the two clothes, or two, you really have to complete Olympus before you get the Kingdom Hearts 3 attire that Sora gets. And that really puts me in a quandary, because they keep on saying that Twilight Town is going to be the tutorial level, but according to 0.2, we're going here first. So, you know, I don't know where this is really going in terms of progression, but we're going to have to wait and see. However, I do have, there is something later on this trailer that tells me that you might be able to revolve between the two costumes, and you'll see a little bit, like in a little bit. So we move past this, and then we see Sora scaling the mountain, going up to Mount Olympus, getting ready to fight the Rock Titan. Now, this is a segment that we saw updated from 2015 trailer in the orchestra trailer, where originally in the E3 2015 trailer, it wasn't raining, there was no water effects, there was no lightning or anything. It was just literally Sora running up a mountain without any type of weather effects. But now we have this in pure weather effects, and that's what we saw in the orchestra trailer. Now, one big thing that you have to take away from this that I didn't see a lot of people notice is that in this segment, which I feel to believe that is still, you know, Sora traversing the world, trying to get to the top of Mount Olympus to talk with Zeus or whatever, Sora is missing his focus gauge. He does not have it. It's not here. You can see in the previous segment where he's falling into Mount Olympus, his focus gauge is right there. It's at max. But at this point in time in the game, or at this point in time in the level, Sora does not have his focus gauge. That means he cannot do shot lock. He cannot do, you know, flow chain or any of that. So it makes me believe that it's going to be a type of power that's not going to be available from the beginning of the game, and you're going to have to learn it at some point during the Mount Olympus world or anything like that, or maybe in Twilight Town, because this really goes back to the big thing that confuses me about how the progression of this game is going to be. Is Olympus Coliseum going to be, or I should say Mount Olympus, is it going to be the first world, or is Twilight Town going to be the first world? They say Twilight Town is going to be, once again, a tutorial level in Kingdom Hearts 3, but according to 0.2 and from a lot of these trailers, it seems that Mount Olympus is going to be the first world we go to. And if you fall in line with my theory of how Sora gets his Kingdom Hearts 3 clothes, I really do believe that Zeus is the one that gives Sora his Kingdom Hearts 3 attire, and not the good fairies. That, you know, by the time he reaches the end of Mount Olympus and meets with Zeus, he'll give him the new Keyblade and Sora's new clothing and his new haircut, apparently. But yeah, his focus gauge is not there, so it's probably gonna have to learn it later or whatnot. Continue forward. I like how he's like just, you know, going in one straight line, and that boulder really just like, you would think that boulder would hit you, but just like it rolls a little to the left, which is interesting, man. I want him to be more animated like in the 2015 trailer, but moving on. So here we have the Keyblade transformation of the Kingdom of Corona Keyblade, which is the Mirage Staff. A lot of people believe that, oh, maybe Arrow becomes the Mirage Staff, and that's what you used to fight. But if you look closely and you notice right away, the Kingdom of Corona Keyblade does become a staff when it transforms. Now, you see right away that this is the Keyblade transforming into the staff. Now, we do know that certain Keyblades will have multiple transformations. They transform into one thing and they transform into another thing later down the line. Now, I'm not sure if all Keyblades are gonna be like that, and if you're gonna have to unlock the second form at one point, because from what my understanding is that you get the transformation of the Keyblade once you complete a world. So maybe you have to complete a world a certain amount of times to get other transformations. You have to level them up, because we do know the Two Shoe Blaster becomes the magic launcher, and the Quick Claws become the Twin Yo-Yo, and so on and so forth. So this Keyblade becomes the Mirage Staff, and we saw that this has a finished command in the previous trailer. Oh, and I forgot to say, the Power Hammer becomes the Drill Claw from Toy Story World. So it's transforming into this Keyblade, and now we have actual gameplay combat footage of Sora fighting this big rock-looking Heartless in the City of Thebes from the Hercules level. So it looks like, once again, we knew this. They have to work your way all the way from Thebes up to Mount Olympus, and follow the trail, and get all the way up to Mount Olympus, because this world is probably going to be very, very big, and I'm excited for that. So it shows that Sora looks like he's able to do like a guard piercing move in the air, which is normally something you wouldn't be able to do from Kingdom Hearts 2. So he's able to do the guard piercing attack in the air, and he follows up with Hurricane Blast, only to be swatted. Him, Donald, and Goofy get swatted by the Rock Tide. Now, one thing I do want to say about Sora, Donald, and Goofy, their little avatar slates in this, is that I have to back up a little bit when they're not, all pouty. Over here, we see Sora looking all like, happy and whatnot, and then we knew it was going to be this for the longest. Now, Donald and Goofy, correct me if I'm wrong, but Donald's avatar looks like it's going to straight up be the same avatar from the Kingdom Hearts 3 poster that we got from D23, but Goofy's does not reflect that, so I'm not sure it's doing some sort of update job or anything like that. Not really a big deal, not something like, oh my god, it's gonna, like, why do they update Donald or anything? It's just, something I noticed. So, moving on. Alright, we saw this part already. Oh, the Keyblade transformations. One thing that I do want to point out before moving on is the fact that when Sora's attacking this rock titan-like Heartless or whatever, of course, the situation command bar goes up, but the situation command that goes up that's live standing by is second form. But Sora is already in his Kingdom Hearts 2 clothes, and as we know, second form in his Kingdom Hearts 3 clothes has him take on the color scheme of his Kingdom Hearts 2 clothes, and then gives him abilities from Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 in his second form. And we do know the second form is tied specifically to the Keyblade, the Kingdom Key, acting as its quote-unquote Keyblade transformation, but not really, or whatever. But it's weird that this is an option for Sora in his Kingdom Hearts 2 clothes. So when I said earlier why I think that possibly you can have the option to switch between your Kingdom Hearts 3 clothes and Kingdom Hearts 2 clothes is because of this segment right here. But of course, it could be something that was a misstep in certain aspects of development when creating this trailer, that this is not going to be offered when you wear the Kingdom Hearts 2 clothes, but they just, had it there just to, put two and two together or whatnot. But moving on. And then next up, we have the conversation between young Xehanort and Sora in the Toy Story world. Relatively unchanged from this point on, but as soon as we get back to young Xehanort, we see that they cleaned up his face. And you guys already know I made quite a bit of a tirade about the updated faces when it comes to young Xehanort and Xemnas. Young Xehanort's update looks great. I'm glad they updated his face. He looks a lot better from the Ken doll model that we had from the orchestra trailer. Later on, you're going to see Xemnas' update, and that one I'm less than stellar for. So, yeah, you already know that. But they cleaned it up. They added pointed ears. They fixed up his mouth a bit like that and fixed up the tone of his skin, which looks really nice. So, I am so down for this update, Young Xehanort model. They got this one on point. I'm very glad. Moving on, we have Sora, Donald, and Goofy interacting with the Toy Story crew, Woody, Buzz, Ham, and then you're going to see in the next shot, it's going to be the soldiers, the little aliens, and of course, Rex up in the background. It's like, oh, not her. I'm really excited to see who this voice cast is going to be, because we all know Toy Story, Pixar, the first ever Pixar film is such a big deal when it comes to like animation and whatnot, and Disney's own legacy. However, Disney and Square has been known to take the least cost-effective route when it comes to, I should say the more cost-effective route when it comes to the character voices from their Disney counterparts into the Kingdom Hearts series. And if I know anything, well, they're probably gonna have Woody end up voiced by Jim Hanks, who is Tom Hanks' brother, who voices Woody in basically every continuation or incarnation of the Toy Story series when it doesn't really have to be a movie or a sanctioned Disney short. And they're probably going to have Buzz voiced by Patrick Warburton. I hope I said his name right. Like, the guy who voices Joe from Family Guy. A lot of people are like, oh, but Tim Allen does, TV work. He does, but I mean, like, when it comes to Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, it was voiced by Mr. Patrick. So they're probably going to have him voice that. I'm kind of iffy on that, but hey, if they decide to actually get Tom Hanks and Tim Allen for Woody and Buzz, I would be ecstatic if they actually end up doing that. Next up is we see a segment of Boo laughing with Sora, not Donald. Donald is walking up. Sora, Goofy, Mike, and Sully. Now, one thing I will say about this one scene is when they're laughing, other than Sully and Sora, Mike and Goofy looks very, very, very unenthusiastic with their laughs. I don't know if it's something with their model or anything like that, but the way they're just laughing, he's just like, and then Goofy's like, The way Goofy laughs a lot of time, he does not laugh like that. Sora and Sully look like they're having a good time with their laughs, and Donald's not even laughing. He's just like, yo, we gotta roll. And it seems that Boo is apparently getting scared by something that could be behind Donald, because of course she wouldn't be scared by Donald because she called him Mike Wazowski in an earlier segment of this very same scene. So what's telling me is that there's probably this big universe behind them, and then they have to start a battle, and then that's when you get introduced to Mike and Sully's combat mechanics or whatnot. But I'm still very bothered by the fact that Goofy and Mike are laughing very enthusiastic. But in the next scene, which is pretty about it, you see the crew looking mad, and we already know that they're talking to Vanitas. And Sully's mad, Goofy's mad, Sora's mad, Donald's mad. But yo, Mike Wazowski, it looks like he's explaining something, because you see his hand up like he's explaining something to Vanitas, and he steps it on up. He's like, boy, Vanitas, what are you doing here? Who are you to say this? Who are you to say that? I'm an actual well fleshed out character that has feelings and morals, and I will stand up to you because thanks to the Kingdom Hearts series, I know how to fight now. So look at Mike go. He's all like, yo, Vanitas, you better back up from my boys, from my company. I will wreck you. Oh boy. This one segment actually got me feeling some type of way from the trailer. Like, he's stepping on up, and yo, Sora and Goofy is like, whoa, Mike, bruh, you got this? And then you see Vanitas, and we got to talk about my boy Vanitas. I love Vanitas so much. When it comes to my top 10 characters, he's a hard 11, right? But Vanitas, my boy, we gotta talk about the fact that you're not only wearing your helmet, you're wearing your bodysuit, and you're wearing an organization coat. Now, some guy on Twitter pointed out, he's like, oh, maybe you should understand that it's a coat and he's wearing clothes under. I understand that, but every other organization member or anyone who wears this black coat, we know that the black coat comes with other pieces of apparel, which includes gloves, pants, and boots, in the case of Roxas, shoes or whatever. And they wear that, and I want to assume that they also wear a shirt under that. And, when they have the zip down, you can see a good amount of chest for anyone who wears one of these coats or whatever, right? So the fact that he wears his bodysuit under all that is just like, it's encumbered design. It's something that really, really bothers me. And you can see right here, you can see the little red of Vanitas' bodysuit right there. So it's not like, oh, maybe he's not wearing his bodysuit. And same time, like, the bodysuit goes all the way up his neck. So, I mean, you see it right there. It's obvious. So he was, I guess he's like, having some sort of like dialogue or monologue where he's holding up one of them scream cans, but it's not like a scream can anymore. It's a laughter can, because it stores like all the energy when, kids laugh, and that's the energy that powers the world of Monsters Incorporated. And he's like talking something about, he's probably referring to how they are able to, utilize emotion. They're able to utilize emotions as energy. My friends are my power. My emotion is my power. So he's probably musing over that. It's like, oh, so this world has to find out how to, take the power of the heart and utilize it. And I wonder if you guys will ever weaponize it or something like that, because of course they're using the emotion of laughter in order to power the city. So I'm guessing that Vanitas is, talking about that. And it's funny that they chose Vanitas personally for this specific world. It's because laughter as an emotion, and Vanitas creates unversed, which are all negative emotions that flow from him and flow back into him. They are what he feels. So it's funny, and it's cool that they are having that type of duality of this character specifically in this world for what it's known for or whatnot. And then we see they're still standing there all ready to go about it or whatnot. And it seems like, Donald doesn't look mad. Goofy doesn't look mad. Sora still looks mad. Mike looks like he's livid, and Sully looks like, man, I don't get paid enough to deal with this kind of nonsense. Can you guys please leave my world alone or anything like that? And Boo seems kind of mad. Yeah, she seems kind of mad. But I like how at one point it seemed like Mike was really about to throw hands at Vanitas, and then Mike is like, no, Sully's like, yo, Mike, you need to chill. Picks him up, is like, nah, like, relax. This is not really our fault, boy. I'm pretty sure that guy can spark you pretty nicely. So, and then at this point, we see Vanitas drop the can after his monologue, and I feel that this might end up being a way to, like, start a battle with Vanitas or be his getaway. Because let me tell you, let me explain why. If you see right here in this segment, you can tell right now the canister is full of energy because, of course, thanks to the movie, when the bar is completely red, that means the can is full. So that means the can is already full of laughter, full of a lot of potent energy, which is like 10 times more potent than screams. And if Vanitas is dropping a full canister on the ground like that, it seems that the canister is probably going to end up going off and short circuit all the electricity, all of the energy around him, creating darkness. So that's probably what he's going to use as his escape route or as a way to aid him in battle that he's going to fight these guys off the bat. Or maybe it's a way to knock out all the electricity for him to steal Boo for something. I don't know. But that's kind of why I think it's going. He's talking. It's all like, okay, time to fight. Drops the can. The can just like sets off everything in the room or everything in the entire Monsters Inc. Everything goes dark. And maybe that's what starts a fire later on in the level or something. But I think that's what's going to go down. And next we see Maleficent and Pete talking with Hades from the orchestra trailer. And it seems pretty much the same thing. So we're going to just move on from that. All right. Here we go, my favorite. Xemnas does. Oh yeah, Xemnas. Yeah, I don't like his monologue. I already made a whole rant about that. We ain't getting down with that. Like, cause look, it's his lips. They messed up his lips. He looks like a burnt orange, like a dollar store brand tan, but whatever. Moving on. But I will say that Ansem's model looks pretty good. But I'm trying to find a shot of it not too blurry because the way the camera shoots. Like that, I'm able to find a good shot of Ansem that isn't too blurry. And it's funny because it looks better if I try to move it around. Like it looks unblurred if I move it around, but if I try to keep it in one still, yeah, it's gonna look kind of blurry. So sorry, Ansem. But he points at Sora, and then Sora once again seems to have a bit of a tinge of green. It's not as strong as other segments from the other trailers, but like his eye is not straight up blue. Unique comparison. Take that color and compare it to Donald's hat. That's basically your best bet, and you can see a hint of green in that, my boy. I hope my theory runs true, and I'm about to make a video specific on the theory. Oh, speaking of which, here we are, the talk of the town when it comes to this trailer. Riku, Mickey, and the Realm of Darkness went Way to the Dawn, and his new costume, whatever. Way to the Dawn. It's broken. Rip. One of the most favorite Keyblades of most Keyblade wielders, most Kingdom Hearts fans. This is one of their favorite Keyblades, and it's done, man. This is our first casualty of Kingdom Hearts 3, everyone. Our first casualty is Way to the Dawn. Now, one thing I do want to say about this being broken is that it seems that this Keyblade, like from what I'm seeing right here, it doesn't seem to be like a clean break. What seems that it probably end up being shattered of one of two things. One, Riku was blocking something and it shattered. In there was a couple pieces that broke off, and then like you can see like the rivets or like the messed up design within the breakage of the Keyblade itself, that it got shattered from either blocking or Riku tried to hit something and it broke against that, which doesn't really make sense because Keyblades have been known to cut through the most crazy of materials and stuff. So it really makes me wonder how indeed this Keyblade ended up getting breaking. So I want to go ahead and believe that Riku was blocking something that was way too strong for the Keyblade's integrity, and then it ended up getting shattered. But one thing that does relate to this whole thing is that Riku, when it looks like he's talking about his Keyblade, he walks off. And also, yeah, we're here in the Dark Margin, one of the most famous places in all of Kingdom Hearts. And man, Riku's design is bumping. Boy, yo, you look great. And it was all like, oh, but he looks like Noctis. Man, I don't want to hear it, man. Of course, like his design may have been inspired by Noctis, who was also created by Tetsuya Nomura, designed by Tetsuya Nomura. But I still like his design aside from Roxas, especially since he has that coat, that subtle hint of yellow that Riku is always known for, that hoodie, it looks so good. So one thing in relation to the Keyblade, when it comes to what could have happened to it, is that Riku and Mickey in this segment look like they're pretty calm. They look pretty like good. It doesn't look like they're like, tired from a battle or anything like that. It doesn't seem like they were, trying to, I would say, get to a place at a certain time. It doesn't seem like they're, very anxious or anything like that. So it probably didn't, break or get into the state from a battle. So that makes you wonder what truly led to this Keyblade being broken. Because, Mickey and Riku look pretty much fine in terms of like, what just transpired for Riku's Keyblade. It's a big deal. Riku's Keyblade breaking is a very big deal, but they seem very, relatively calm about it. So, whatever went down is truly up in the air for me. I want to go ahead and say that it was probably because he had to block something. Block an attack, block a Siege of Heartless, probably not. Maybe it couldn't survive the trip going into the Realm of Darkness or anything like that. It's symbolic, way to the dawn, he's reached the dawn, or he's come back to the darkness. Something along those lines. We're just gonna have to wait and see and learn about how Riku's Keyblade end up getting broken. So at this point, he talks about can't use this Keyblade anymore. And look, he smiles as he leaves behind his partner in crime. For like over the years, he had this awesomely designed Keyblade that he's just gonna leave behind. No biggie. Can't use this Keyblade anymore. Might as well just leave it here. He seems like uncharacteristically happy about leaving behind his Keyblade. But we all know that he's going to get a new one in the form of that big Fenrir-esque looking Keyblade. And then he's talking about, in case the other me needs it. And I have a theory about that already, so if you want to check that out, I'm going to leave it in the end say as well. And then Mickey seems to wonder, well, who's the other me that you're talking about, Riku? And I got to say, Riku and Mickey's designs, they look pretty bumpy. And I don't see anyone trying to clown on Mickey's like, oh yeah, Mickey has Noctis's design. Because like when you look at Mickey, other than the gloves and other than the shoes, Mickey's clothes are pretty much the same as Riku's, just, suited for Mickey. He has the same pants, the same plaid design. One's blue, one's red. The same type of coat, the same hood. And even Mickey has like little mouse. So it's the same thing except for the gloves and the boots, because Mickey can't really wear boots, like, it's shoes, because, if he wore boots, they go all the way up to his kneecaps, and Mickey with fingerless gloves, ew. So, like, Mickey and Riku basically have the same type of design when it comes to their clothes, and I don't see anyone, like, clowning on Mickey's, like, oh, look, Mickey is channeling that Noctis boy. So, here we have it, the way to the dawn, rest in peace, rest in spaghetti, never forgetty. As we leave it behind for Riku's new Keyblade. And of course, you gotta leave behind the gazing eye, because the Master of Masters looks through that eye, and Riku doesn't want to be watched no more, because they trying to be incognitus to find Aqua. So they can't be having the Master of Masters or anyone else looking through the gazing eye spying on them. Gotta leave that behind. In hindsight, maybe Riku broke the Keyblade himself. So that's probably the only thing that kind of makes sense for this whole segment, because Riku seems relatively happy. They don't seem anxious or anything like that. He doesn't seem like sad or mad or anything, leaving behind this Keyblade. So maybe he caught on to the whole deal of the gazing eye, because the gazing eye is like legit there. And then anywhere the gazing eye is, Master Masters has, a way to look into that in real time. So he probably figured that out, broke it himself, left it behind. It's like, okay, we cannot be watched. We gotta find Aqua, and then our mission is too important for anyone to be, having their ears to the ground like this. So, hey, if it's my other me needs it, that's fine. So that's what I believe when it comes to Riku leaving behind the Keyblade. And here we have it, Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm so ready, and I hope you guys enjoyed that analysis of the Don't Think Twice trailer. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comment section below. And while you're at it, please like, share, favorite, and most importantly, subscribe to your boy HMK for more Kingdom Hearts 3 videos. Until the next one, I've been HMK, and I'll check you guys later.
So you haven't subscribed to HMK yet? Don't piss Xemnas off.